shown the sprint in details, right? This is sprint 2. Now in the sprint 2, can you see four events? The sprint planning, the daily stand-up, the sprint review, and retrospective. Can you see these events, guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, before we discuss what happens inside these events like sprint planning or daily stand-up or sprint review or retrospective, can we understand the roles, right, who will participate in these events or throughout the sprint? Who are the people, who are the role, who will participate in, and in what context, right? Can we discuss the important roles within the sprint?
Yeah.
Right, guys? So let's first go through the different roles within the Scrum framework, right? Now, guys, Scrum defines these 3 important roles. Can you see these 3 important roles? The product owner, the Scrum Master, and the development team, right? Now, I will start with the role of a product owner first, right? Now, what is the role of product owner, guys? This guy owns the product backlog, right? This guy is responsible. The product owner is responsible for prioritizing the product backlog, right? As I told you, the high priority requirement should always be at the top in the product backlog, right? There are various techniques to prioritize the product backlog that we are going to learn in this training, right? We can use paired comparison method. We can use weighted shortage of first. We can use uh, 100-point or $100 method. Now see, but whatever product owner feels is relevant to prioritize, right? He can decide whichever technique is best for a particular product backlog, right? To prioritize it. So product owner owns the product backlog, right? He's accountable for prioritizing the product backlog, right? He ensures, right? At any point of time, the product backlog gives you maximum value for money, right? He optimizes the work of the development team, right? By value, right? Now, this role, product owner's role is inbound as well as outbound. When I say outbound role, the product owner constantly interacts with the market, the business environment, and the external stakeholders to understand what is needed by the market, right? So based on what is needed by the market, the product owner can prioritize the product backlog. Now, this role is inbound also, right? The inbound role is, he constantly collaborates with the development team, right? Or the developers. He clarifies the doubts that the developer have regarding the requirements or the acceptance criteria, right? If any clarity is needed by the development team, the product owner should be always there to help, right? There's a constant collaboration between product owner and the development team. Now, tell me guys, what kind of people fit in the role of product owner?
Business analyst, product manager.
Yes, people who have a background such as business analyst, right? People like product managers, right? They can be suited for the role of a product owner. Plus, people who are subject matter experts, right? Now, if you're doing an ERP implementation project, functional consultant can be suitable for the role of the product owner. Right, guys? Now, tell me if you have any questions, queries regarding the role of the product owner. Any questions, any queries regarding the role of product owner, guys?
So is product owner also responsible for creating those product backlogs?
He owns the product backlog, right? Now, to create product backlog, he might delegate the responsibility, or he might do it himself. It depends. But again, overall accountability of product backlog, right? Like prioritizing the product backlog, right? The overall accountability of the product backlog lies with product owner.
So the Scrum rules are important feature. The Scrum team comprises of less than 10 team members. Is it standard or what?
Uh, Development team should be less than 10 as per scrum.org, right? But it should be cross-functional and self-managed, right? But again, less than 10 means, see, again, see, if it is less than 10, the teams can be self-managed, right? See, there should be always some tolerance. If from 10 it goes 12 in the real environment, time environment, it won't matter much, right? But 10 is generally a standard given by scrum.org, less than 10.
Okay.
Now, any questions, any queries about the role of product owner?
So Pankaj, so the team less than 10 members, like it will be like product owner, scrum master, as well as the development. It's all.
No. Sorry, it's a development team. I'm not including product
Okay,
owner.
only okay.
I'm talking about development team, right? Not product owner and scrum master included. Now, if you're okay with the role of product owner, can we study the role of, can we do more analysis on the role of scrum master and development team, guys?
Yes. So
Now,
one thing before you go. So project owner. So in this Scrum, are we not defining any role for a project manager? So basically, product owner will be acting as a project manager also, right?
see, no, when we talk about scrum, right? I'm talking about scrum right now, right?
Okay.
Now, Scrum is a delivery management framework, not a project management framework, right?
Okay.
Scrum is not a project management framework. It's a delivery management framework, right? So there is no project management role in a Scrum when we talk about Scrum, actually.
Delivery framework, I didn't get that one.
See, Scrum is not a project management framework, right? It's a delivery management framework, right?
How does
So
both?
there is no project manager in Scrum, right? Now, Ritesh, see, often organizations customize Scrum, right? So that's why, first, can we study ideal Scrum?
Okay, that's true.
The Scrum, which is the actual Scrum, then we'll say how we can modify, right? Based on our environment. Can we discuss that first?
Yeah, sure. It's like
Now, so for that, we have to understand the role of Scrum Master and the development team first. We'll study it together. Now, what is the role of a Scrum Master, right? See, Scrum Master is a facilitator, right? Scrum Master is a facilitator, is a servant leader who helps the team, right? And who removes all the blockers or impediments that come on the way of the development team, right? Now, this Scrum Master is a Scrum process expert. He's a coach, facilitator, and Scrum process expert. One of the important roles that the Scrum Master has is to ensure whether Scrum is being followed properly or not, because he's a process expert, right? He ensures that Scrum is followed properly, right? In the development product or project, right? Is that okay? Now, what is the relationship between Scrum Master and the development team, right? I told you that Scrum Master helps the development team in facilitation, right? Scrum Master acts as a servant leader. He removes any kind of blockers or bottleneck that comes on the way of the development team. He helps the development team. He serves the development team, right? Now tell me, does development team report to Scrum Master? This is a question to all of you. Does the development team report to Scrum Master?
No.
No.
No, absolutely no, right? And does Scrum Master assign any work to the development team? That is also no. That is also no. Now, what is this development team? Now, what is this development team? Now, we'll talk about some of the characteristics of the development team. Now, see, when we follow Scrum as is, right, one of the prerequisite of Scrum is self-managed teams, right? One of the important prerequisite of Scrum, guys, is self-managed cross-functional team who can convert raw requirements into functionality on their own without any external help, right? Now, when I say self-managed team, right, what does it mean when you say self-managed teams? How do they work? Who assigns works to the self-managed teams? What are
They assign
self-managed
to
teams, guys?
themselves. They
They
assign to
assign
themselves and they
that,
estimate on their own.
they assign the work on their own, right? For example, if in a sprint backlog, right? In a sprint backlog, there are 10 tasks to be delivered, right? In the sprint backlog, there are 10 tasks to be delivered. And let's say, we are part of the self-managed team, right? Sushant will say, I'll take the user interface, right? Ritesh will say, I'll do the database integration part. Sujit will say, I'll do validation testing, right? Arush will say, I'll take care of the entire integration testing, right? This is how the work is distributed within the development team. Nobody assigned tasks, right? The team is self-managed. Now tell me, is it so easy? What kind of attributes should the teams have to be self-managed? Guys, can you tell me what kind of attributes should the team have to be self-managed?
No idea.
Should they be highly skilled or not?
Yeah, skilled.
And should they be cross-functional? They should have all the teams together, right? They should have all the skills together so that they can deliver the working functionality. Now,
So
when I
Pankaj, a
say,
question here, who select people for to form this team?
now see, who selects the people to form this team, right?
Mhm.
Now,
Right.
see, there can be an involvement of the senior management, right?
Mhm.
Now, sometimes teams who have been working on some similar kind of product can be taken directly for a new product, right? But tell me, do these kind of teams exist in abundance?
No, it has to be picked up. Like, what is the requirement and who could best fit for it? Someone needs to pick that.
See, I'll tell you. Ideally, the prerequisite is self-managed team. Now, in the self-managed team, what are the different attributes of the team members with respect to skills, right? Let's talk about that first, right? Now, see, in any environment, right, people can be T-shaped, E-shaped, or see, people can be I-shaped. The skills can be I-shaped, right? T-shaped, right? Or E-shaped. Now, what do you mean by T-shaped, E-shaped, and I-shaped people?
No
Guys,
idea.
right? So let's talk about this first. Now, I-shaped people are those people, right, who are very strong in one area, right? But they are confined to that area only, right? So, this guy, Rahul, is a very good Java architect, right? But he can't do anything apart from this. He's too good in Java, right? This kind of skills are I-shaped people. Now, T-shaped people are like generalizing specialist, right? People who are very strong in one area, but can work in other area, right, in a decently good manner. For example, right, Vivek is he can work He's an excellent Java developer, but if required, he can work as a business analyst also, right? He can work as a tester also, or he can work in .NET also. This is a T-shaped. These are T-shaped people, right? Who are like generalizing specialist. Then third category is E-shaped people. People who can work excellent in multiple areas, right? Who can work in, who can work with same proficiency level, excellent proficiency level in multiple areas. For example, right? Rajiv is excellent in Java, .NET, Python, and he's an excellent business analyst and tester also, right? Kings of all and masters of some. This is E-shape. Now, when we talk about cross-functional self-managed team, the preference is for T-shaped and E-shaped people, right? Now, to give you better understanding of of a self-managed team and its relationship to Scrum Master, right? Now, I also understand the fact that it's not so easy to have self-managed teams, right? But let's try to understand. Let's try to have the relationship based on some basic understanding. Now, if we talk about Indian cricket team, can you call Indian cricket team as a self-managed team?
Yes.
Matured players, right?
Yes.
And to some extent, nowadays, when you take people, you prefer T-shaped and E-shaped, right?
Right.
Right? A spin bowler who can bat also, a wicket keeper who can bat also, right? And field also, right? So,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Now, tell me, such self-managed teams, do they require a leader or a facilitator?
A facilitator.
Facilitator.
They require a facilitator, right? So, coach like Rahul Dravid is more like a facilitator to Indian cricket team,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Right.
Now let's change the scenario. School cricket team where kids are still learning. Do they require only facilitator or a team lead plus facilitator?
Team lead plus facilitator.
Both,
Yeah,
right?
both.
Now, this is the biggest flaw that happen in the real-time environment, right? By incorrectly understanding the Scrum. See, our teams are not self-managed, and we expect Scrum Master to be only a facilitator. Now, tell me, if development teams are stumbling and fumbling to learn skills, should this role be a team lead plus facilitator or only a facilitator?
Should be
Both.
both in that case.
Both.
Both, right? Now, if it is both, then should Scrum Master be assigning work to the development team,
Yes.
Yes.
right? And if you customize the whole framework in that way, it is good, right? Now, is it still agile? Yes, it is still agile, but not Scrum, right? See, many times people, in many places, you might be seeing Scrum Master assigning work to development team, right? You're following the framework as it is, but you have done some modification. Your Scrum Master, your team reports to Scrum Master, and the Scrum Master assigns to the development team, right? Have you seen this context in some places? Have you seen
Yeah,
this in
multiple projects.
multiple projects, right? And is it okay to have?
Yeah.
Yes, it is okay to have. It is still agile, but not Scrum. See, Scrum has a very important prerequisite, highly skilled, self-managed teams, right? Now, later on, when we'll talk about resource management, we'll learn about team building stages, right? A team builds like this. I'm just giving you a brief, idea about this. Every team goes through these stages, right? Forming, norming, right? And performing. Sorry. And then finally, adjourning, which, okay, you can. Now, generally teams go through these different stages. For example, initially when the team is formed, right? The idea about the work is less, right? Does it happen or not? And the workload is also very less. So
Yes.
now tell me, when you go to your family, right? Or see, generally what happens when the workload is less, you establish a good rapport with other team members. Does it happen or not? You go to cafeteria, you have coffee, right? At this, and generally you show positive side of yourself to each other, right? You go back, Vikas goes back to his home and says his wife or, the family that, okay, I'm so blessed to be part of such a nice team. Everybody is so good. They're willing to go out of the way to help, right? He's so happy. Now, at this point of time, since the team knows very less about the work, right? The primary role of the manager, right? Project manager is to direct, right? The primary role, right? He can direct. Now, what happens slowly, the work starts coming in. When the work starts coming in, what happens, right? Will the finger pointing, blame game happen or not?
Yes.
Right? The same people who are appearing good to you start appearing bad. You go back to your home and say, I don't know. Now, Vikas says, I don't know how people can be that bad. That's selfish, right? Now tell me, this is a phase, team building phase, where there will be maximum conflicts. There will be maximum conflicts, maximum issues. Now, in this phase, the role of project manager, right, or scrum master or agile coach is very, very important, right? Based on how he mentors the team, how he coaches the team, how he resolves the conflict, the team will either stuck at storming level, right, or move to norming. If the project manager or the delivery manager, right, is good in managing conflict, he's an excellent mentor and a coach, the team will move to norming. Now, norming is the level when team becomes matured, right? They understand that overall project goal is more important than their personal goal, right? Right? They develop a level of understanding. Their skill also goes up, right? The team at norming level, they are called as self-managed teams, right? And from norming, if team keeps on improving, it reaches performing. Now, performing is a stage where you call the team as high performing teams, where the overall performance is more than the sum of individual performance. And teams at performing level are self-directing teams, right? Now, if you see this team building model, right? Team goes through forming, storming, norming, and performing. And the self-managed teams start from norming level. Now tell me, can there be a situation when self-managed the teams can start from norming level? Can there be a
Yes.
situation, right? Now, can you give me an example when the teams can start from norming?
When we pick up people, let's say, who worked in the previous project.
Absolutely. When you simply port a set of people who have been working long in a similar product,
Yeah, same skilled.
same skills, right? Same technology, then, then teams can be self-managed right from day one. But please remember one thing, if you have to follow Scrum framework, right? Now, I'm not saying agile, because agile can be without Scrum also, right? Scrum is agile, but agile is much broader term than Scrum, right? So if you have to follow Scrum as is, the way it is written in the standards and books, then the prerequisite is the development team should be self-managed, right? Having said this, I'm not saying that you can't be agile, but if you don't have self-managed teams, you can still be agile. But for that, your agile coach should be both a team lead and a facilitator, right? However, in Scrum framework, when you have self-managed teams, right? In the self-managed teams don't report to Scrum Master. Scrum Master doesn't assign any work to the self-managed teams, right? The role of Scrum Master is to mentor the team, coach the team in the area of Scrum framework, because Scrum Master is a Scrum process expert. He knows nitty-gritties, right, of the Scrum framework, right? His role is to remove any kind of blocker that comes on the way of the development team, right? His role is to facilitate for the development team, right? Is that okay, guys? So
Yes.
any questions about the role of product owner, Scrum Master, and the development team, guys? Or shall we go into Scrum framework now?
Because can we have a break for 10 minutes, please?
Yeah, so let's have a 10 minutes break. Then we'll start with the Scrum framework, right?
Okay, one thing, like when we say like, product owner will also have those interactions with client and development team, right? And
Both,
even he
yes.
has, hello?
Yeah, tell me.
Yeah. So even he helps the product or the developer team to, remove all those roadblockers,
See,
right?
he helps the team with respect to requirements only. But there can be other situations also, Ritesh. For example, a team is needing a tool, right?
Okay.
So why should team do follow-ups for getting that tool, right? Team should focus on their work, right? Team can delegate this, Scrum Master can facilitate this tool for the team.
All right.
Right?
In case they need some access to any of the portals or any of the
Yes,
accounts,
yes.
but that kind of facility,
Scrum Master
Scrum
can.
Master would be providing it.
Yeah, because so that, Ritesh, development team should be focusing, because see, they have a sprint is time boxed, right? Within time box, the development team has to create working functionality. So
Okay.
they should be totally focused towards their work, right?
I got it. Yeah.
And
Got it.
apart from this, if there are any distractions on the way of development team, right, he can take care of those distractions, right? Right? He should ensure the team is not distracted. They should focus on their work so that they convert, so that you have a potentially shippable product at the end of the sprint, right?
So basically, he will be more towards the internal kind of facility, not towards any kind of client downtime or anything. So that will be by the product owner, right?
Product owner is more about requirements,
Okay.
right? He's about facilitation, right?
Let's say so does the Scrum Master also interact with client?
See, in
I
terms
would
of
say-
in terms of facilitation, not in terms of capturing the requirement,
Okay.
right? For example, right? Suppose development team is feeling that product owner is not spending time with them, right? He's not collaborating the way he is required to collaborate. So can Scrum Master come into picture here to help?
Yeah, should be.
Scrum Master can talk to product owner that how important it is for a product owner to interact with the development team.
Okay.
Right?
More of a process coach.
More of a process, right?
Okay.
For example, you saw various events. Now we'll see it again, various events within the sprint, like sprint planning, right? Daily stand-ups, sprint review, and retrospective, right? Now, how this event should be properly conducted, right? Scrum Master can coach the team, right? For example, daily stand-up meeting is time boxed to 15 minutes, right? If he sees the development team is spending more than 15 minutes, let's say the 30 minutes in daily stand-ups, discussing multiple other things, right? Then he can, come into picture. He will coach them that why do we need daily stand-up meetings and why they should be restricted to 15 minutes only. So he's more like a process guy also.
Okay.
Right.
More of process and a governance on the process.
Yes.
Okay.
He's a Scrum process expert as well, right? and an excellent facilitator and a servant leader, right? So guys, are we taking a 10 minutes break before we start with the actual Scrum framework? We'll see what happens inside the sprint, right?
Okay. So we'll start at 11:20.
Yeah, it's 11:10 right now, right? So
Yes.
let's start at 11:20, right? Sharp 11:20, right?
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect.
Oh,
Thanks.
thanks.